Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Aziza's Avenue. I am Aziza clearly, and I would like to tell you a story. Now, if I get a little emotional or I start to tear up, it's no worries. It's just a byproduct of this story, and it happens sometimes when I start to sit back and reflect on it, as every mother who has experienced it, I'm sure, gets a little emotional. It is a trauma, a serious one that we're part of an elite group who have endured it, who will endure it, and I just we're not alone. Sometimes it's easy to share our stories so that the fact that we're not alone is accepted and known. So to give you a little context, 13 years ago today, like I said, to give you a little context, 10 days before this date, I was 5.5 months pregnant, and my husband and I were asleep, and he felt his whole side was wet. His from his hip down was wet, completely soaked. And he woke me up and he's like, "Babe, I know you didn't just wet this bed. I know you're pregnant, and I know sometimes women can have bladder problems, but I know you ain't just peeing this bed, especially with me in it." So I was like, "No, I don't think so." But then he pulled the sheet back, and sure enough, there was so much fluid. It was mixed with a little bit of blood, but it was a lot of fluid. And so I'm freaking out. He's jumping up. He's like, "We got to get dressed. We got to get you to the ER, or something is wrong." And I'm like, "Oh, I can't." Alhamdulillah, before that, I had four healthy babies. So this was my fifth pregnancy, and this was not, we never had to deal with anything like that before. So understandably, we were both a lot afraid, you know. Even though we're Muslims, we know nothing happens without the permission of Allah. We were afraid. So we get to the ER, and the first thing they do is hook me up to an ultrasound machine, and the tech is looking for a heartbeat. Because if there was none, this would have been a totally different video, totally different conversation. But I had my husband's hand in a death grip, and alhamdulillah, he was still alive in there, and there was a strong heartbeat, and whew, okay. So they started pumping me full of steroids. They were like, "Mrs. Muhammad, you need these. He's going to help his organs grow, because if he's born today or anytime in the near future, there's a great possibility that he will not make it. He will die." So they pumped me full of steroids. They kept me for about a day and a half, and then they released me. Told me to go home and rest and not move. My husband told me shortly after arriving home that he had booked a trip for us. It was our 10th anniversary on August 10th, and he was like, we were supposed to go to Hawaii. He had told everybody but me. He told his mom, his sister, his grandfather. We were all going to go to Hawaii, and I was like, "No, you can't cancel that trip. I will be in a wheelchair. When we get there, I won't move." He really was going to cancel, and I felt like I guilted him into not canceling. I mean, my husband is the type of man, you can't make him do anything he doesn't want to do, but I kind of laid it on thick. I was like, we're going to go celebrate us and our family, and, alhamdulillah, he's still alive in there. I will just be still the whole trip. I won't move. I will move as little as possible. So, he, made us the car. He did some praying, and in the end, on August 10th, 2006, we boarded a plane to Honolulu. So we get there, and I stuck to my promises. I tried to move as little as possible. I did a lot of eating, a lot of sleeping. Alhamdulillah, it was wonderful. And then things changed. 4 days later, he was going to like Rite Aid or something to fill out a prescription for me. And he was going to get the kids some swim stuff. So he took them with him. He took his mom, his sister. He said, we'll be right back. Don't you move. I'm not playing with you. If you want something, you order room service. I said, I promise. I won't move. Don't you worry about it. You just go. I love you. I'll be right here when you get back. Just go. He left. About 10 minutes later, I had to go to the bathroom. I got up. I went to the bathroom. When I got up from using the bathroom, my water broke. And if you have had children before, you know that when contractions start, they are some seriously painful things to endure. But again, I knew this was not the same. Something was wrong. Something was very wrong, because the contractions were the kind of pain that the body endures before it goes into shock, before you pass out. I would later find out that I had something called placental abruption, which means that the placenta that the baby is stored in, the baby grows in it. It began to, normally after you have a child, the placenta comes out on its own. Maybe you have a contraction and you push it out, but it comes out on its own. For me though, with every contraction, the placenta started to tear away from my uterine wall. And when it was explained to me at the hospital that I ended up in, the doctor, she said that picture someone, the kind of Velcro that they use to hold up paralyzed patients, or patients that are, have been in horrible car accidents and they have to learn to walk again, and they put them in these Velcro vests to stand them up, that industrial strength Velcro. And she said, picture that tearing. Picture it peeling apart because it's falling loose. She said the reason your contractions were unbelievably painful was because with every one, your placenta was ripping a little from the uterine wall, tearing muscle, tissue, blood vessels with every one. So cut back to me in that bathroom. With the first contraction, I was in a lot of pain is really an understatement. I laid on that floor for a few minutes, and then I just said to myself, I can't have my baby on this cold bathroom. I knew I was going to have my child, but I couldn't have him on that bathroom floor. It was cold. So I crawled. I crawled from the bathroom floor through the hallway, and my first thought was, I got to turn the air off. I was pregnant. It was Hawaii. I had the room on the Arctic Circle, to say the least. So I crawled. With every contraction, I had to stop and lay there. And then I got to the wall where the air conditioning was, and I found, Allah bless me with the strength to push myself up and turn off the air. Another contraction hit. I basically almost fell on my stomach, but I didn't. I landed on my side, and I laid there crying and screaming, and I said, I gotta get to the phone. By the bed, I gotta get in the bed, and then I gotta get to the phone. I crawled some more, and now mind you, with all the crawling, I'm bleeding. The bleeding won't stop. It will not stop. They had to do so much cleaning to that room. My mother-in-law said that you might as well have put some crying seed tape up it, because that's what it looked like. They had to replace the mattress. It was a lot of blood. And so I crawled to the bed, turned the air off, crawled to the bed, got in the bed, and I just feel like I'm going to the bathroom on myself. It's just coming out and coming out and coming out. I pick up the phone that was next to on the nightstand, and I dialed the front desk, and I'm screaming, I'm crying, and she's like, Miss Muhammad, just tell me what's wrong. What do you need? And I said, I need an ambulance. I'm in labor. My baby is early. Find my husband, call my husband. I need somebody to help me, and I'm so sorry to her to this day because I was screaming in her ear so loud. I'm pretty sure she had to like pull the phone away from her ear. I was screaming so loud, and she said, okay, I'm gonna call 911. What's your husband's phone number? And I'm screaming through contractions and I'm crying, and so I gave her his number. She said, okay, listen, you hang in there, and I'm calling 911 right now. There's a hospital like 5 minutes away, so I'm pretty sure some EMTs will get here before your husband does, but you hang in there, and I'm sending somebody up. And I said, I can't open the door. I'm in the bed. I can't get up. I can't open the door. She said, don't you worry about it. We'll break it if we have to. And So I thought I was going to the bathroom on myself. Again, placenta still tearing with each contraction, and blood is still coming. And I thought I was passing clots. If you know what that means, you've had children, you know what that means. And so I'm laying there and I'm getting tired, and so I just want to sleep. And then because Allah is so merciful, I felt the tiniest little fraction of a pluck on my inner thigh, and I was like, because I didn't feel the need to push. When you're pregnant and you are in labor, you feel the need to push after a while, and I didn't feel the need to push, but I felt this like pluck. That's the only thing I can compare it to. This tiniest little pluck, little movement on the inside of my left thigh. And I pulled the covers back and looked down, and there he was, And he was covered in everything that babies are covered in, but he was so small. I was like, and whenever I got pregnant, I always watched, the stories on like TLC, like a baby story, stuff like that. And I love watching babies come into the world. It was a thing for me. And so I always saw that like when doctors had babies who didn't come out crying, they would rub them, real fast. And so my brain kicked in. My brain was like, grab him, put him on your chest, cover him, and move him. He wouldn't cry. He wasn't moving. So I put him on my chest, and I'm still bleeding, and I'm moving him, and I'm like, please wake up. And it was the hardest praying I've ever had to do. I was begging Allah. I said, I can't, you can't, please just make him wake up. Just make him make one sound, something. But he didn't. And I just kept him covered, and I kept shaking his back and just praying that he woke up. And then the EMTs got there. Alhamdulillah. They were banging on the door, and they're like, Miss Muhammad, wait, open the door. And I said, I can't. And I'm screaming, I can't move. Please open the door. Come help me. So they ended up kicking it in. And, they were not Muslim, and they just looked at the floor. They looked at the walls. They looked at me and the blood that's still coating that bed and the mattress and the sheets. And I remember like it was yesterday, first guy, he says what most disbelievers say when they're shocked. He's like, Jesus Christ. And then they just went into work mode, and they're looking and they're moving the bloody sheets and moving my legs. And they said, Miss Muhammad, where is it? Where's the baby? And I said, they didn't notice me shaking my chest. And I said, he's right here. Take him. Please help him. Do something. Don't let him die. I can't lose my son. And so they took him from me. And then my husband got there. And he walks in and he's like, oh, my, y'all, and he's looking at everything. And then he sees them with his son, and then he sees me, and he was standing with Kasim, my son, for a minute, and then he comes over to the bed, and I'm so tired. I'm like, all right, y'all, you got this. I'm just gonna go to sleep for a minute, and they were like telling him, like, wait, try to keep her talking. She's losing a lot of blood. We got to get out of here. Keep her talking. And so he took my face in his hands, and he was like, baby, wake up. Please don't fall asleep. You can't fall asleep on me. I can't. You have to wake up. Wake up. I know you're tired, and I just need you to wake up. And he's shaking my face and my shoulders. And I wanted to wake up. I wanted to open my eyes. But I was so tired. And I said, I'm just gonna go to sleep, just for a minute, and their voices started to echo. So I knew. I was like, I can't. Allah, this is in your hands. I did all I can do. If anybody is not gonna survive this, please don't let it be my son. I'm a Muslim. I believe in La ilaha illallah, so I know what happens to a woman who dies during childbirth. I'm okay with that. Just if one of us has to not survive today, don't let it be my baby. That's all I was thinking. And then the last thing I heard was the EMTs telling my husband that he had to get up. He had to stop. Like, just, we had to go. The human body, I think, if I'm not wrong, has between about 5 to 6 liters of blood at any given time. The heavier you are, the more blood you have. But I was losing quite a lot. I think I lost like 3.5. I was done. So I passed out. They strapped me to a gurney. We are on the ambulance. I don't remember anything past that. I woke up in the hospital, restrained to a bed. And I didn't wake up on my own. They used something to wake me up. I don't know if it was adrenaline, smelling salt. I don't know. But I woke up like shocked, because I looked at my hands and they were restrained to the bed, and my ankles were restrained to the end of that table. And there were 4 nurses and a doctor in the room, and the doctor's telling me what's going on about the placental abruption, why my contractions were so bad, why I was in so much pain. And she said, I'm like, why the heck take these off me? Where's my child? Where's my son? Where's my husband? Is my baby alive? And she said, I need you to just listen to me. Just 1 second. I will give you all of that information, but I need you to listen to me. You are restrained because you had a placental abruption. The placenta is still halfway in there, in your body. I need to get it out. You can't push it out because you are too weak. So you are restrained because I have to put my hand in your body and take it out. Let me tell you something. There are some things that as women we have to endure giving birth. Okay, a normal, regular, healthy birth, that are extremely painful. I would not wish what happened to me that day on anyone. She said, the nurses are here because your body is instinctively going to bow off this bed, and we need you as still as possible. And I'm begging her. I'm like, please don't do this to me. Please don't do this to me. And she said, it has to happen because if I don't take this placenta out, it will start to decay in your body and you will die. If I take it out and we don't do anything, you will bleed to death and you will die. So she kept me she tried to keep me calm as possible. But in that situation, there is no such thing. So She looked at all of them and she said, "Oh, okay, let's do this." There were two nurses holding my shoulders, two nurses holding my thighs, and she put her hand inside my body, and it felt like she had a claw because she pulled. She pulled and scraped and pulled, and the placenta finished tearing and coming loose. And I screamed. I screamed, and I tried to move, but they held me, and I screamed some more. And there's only about a certain amount of pain that the body can endure before Allah has mercy on you and allows you to pass out from the shock and the pain. And He had mercy on me, because about 2 minutes into what she was doing, I went unconscious again. I woke up a little while later in my hospital room, and my husband was sitting on a windowsill crying. My husband is not a crier. Let me tell you that right now. I can count on one hand, probably without all five fingers, how many times he has cried in the 23 years I have been his wife. He's not a crier, but he was crying. So I clearly jumped to the obvious conclusion that my son was not here anymore. And I called him. I said, "Where's the baby?" And he got up off the windowsill and he came and sat on my bed, and he hugged me so tight. And that, for me, that was sign number 2. And I'm starting to lose it. I'm like, "Qasim, tell me something. Where's our son? Where is he? Please don't tell me." And he pulled back and he wiped my tears, and he was like, "He's alive. He is so small, but he's alive." So, so I'm crying and I'm like, "I want to see him. Just take me to see him. Please take me to see him." And he said, "Well, we're going to take you. You just need a little bit of sleep. You have been through so much today, but he's so little. I'm going to bring you pictures. He's so little, baby, but he's alive." My son came into the world 13 years ago today, weighing 1 pound. I was 6 months to the day. He weighed 1 pound. That day is seared into my memory. And like I said, if I close my eyes, it happens all over again. All I got to do is think back. He is the definition for me of the power of Allah. So many things happen to people that we don't experience, so many traumas, and we feel for them, we empathize. But until you experience some of those tragic things for yourself, you really can't understand. So my point to all of this is that I had taken advantage of the fact that I had 4 healthy pregnancies before that, and that Allah was going to test me and everything that I am, everything that I was, with the fact that my son was born prematurely. I am so grateful to Allah. I can't even begin to tell you how grateful I am that He allowed my son to live, that He allowed me to live, that my son, they said that he was going to have so many health problems. He has not one. They said he wasn't going to be able to latch onto my breast to breastfeed because he was so small. I put him to my breast and he latched on with no problem. 3 months and 4 days later, my son was released from the NICU weighing about 5 pounds, 6 ounces. And today he's 13. Every year for me with him, he is my miracle man, my little miracle man. And the words sometimes escape me because I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. So there is my story. May Allah have mercy on all the parents who are enduring premature births, premature babies in the NICU. It is not easy. It is not easy. And may Allah have mercy on the parents. May He bless those babies to get out of the NICU and live long, healthy, happy, full lives. You know, Ameen, Ameen, Ameen. If you know someone that has had a premature baby, call them up today. Show them some love, because it is quite a thing to have to go through. I will see you again soon, inshallah. Have a good day. Assalamu alaikum.